Honorable the Chief Justice, Delhi High Court, Justice Jhingan, Justice Jyoti Singh, Justice Tushar Rao Grela, Justice Pratibha Singh, Justice Hari Shankar, Mr. Hariharan, my learned colleagues. We've had the benefit of listening to several eminent speakers this afternoon, and together they embody about 200 years of cumulative experience, so please take them very seriously. And these kind of opportunities, I'm not exaggerating, they are extremely rare that you have these kind of speakers before an audience exchanging their views. In fact, I have actually never heard Mr. Sethi speak outside court, so it was a great pleasure. This is probably the first time in all my years of practice. So these are very, very rare opportunities, and I encourage you to make the most of it. The speakers have highlighted the importance of brevity, simplicity, duty to the court, general duty of integrity, but to this I want to add my advice, which is to be more critical of your case. I think as lawyers we're taught confidence, but that confidence can only follow after a healthy dose of critical thinking about your own case. There's a concept in management studies which I think is quite useful called the pre-mortem, which is that you have already failed, and now you ask yourself why you failed. In the legal context, it would be something like you've drafted a plaint, and then you now have gathered around a table to discuss why the suit was dismissed with exemplary costs. And then you get your juniors and your interns and everybody to speak quite freely about why is it that you lost this case so badly, what happened, what went wrong. Now this corrects a lot of the errors caused by overconfidence. And I think the problem is that we are taught too much confidence at the wrong stage of the process of drafting. And I think that can be corrected if you take up this somewhat time-consuming but necessary exercise. So if it's a case of a certain scale and you want to be spending time on it, you want to win it, I think it's important to do a pre-mortem. And as macabre as it sounds, I think it's a very, very valuable aid in correcting very preventable errors because, there's this, I don't originally come from Delhi, but the first thing that used to strike me when I used to speak to Delhi lawyers was like, ho jayega, So sometimes what happens is it doesn't. And then the crushing disappointment and the cost that you've incurred just because of preventable errors, they stare at you. So the advantage also is that people in your team will be more open because otherwise you're saying, why are you being a damp squib or why are you playing devil's advocate? But there has to be some level of critical thinking because you are writing for the court, but you're also writing in the knowledge that your adversary is going to challenge you. It's an adversarial process. So you must expect that this process is going to be something between a battle and a concert or however you want to look at it, part meditation, but certainly it is in the knowledge that there will be a defense. And particularly today we are out of the realm of affairs where we're talking about ex parte suits. How many are there? Not so many. Everything is hotly contested, so it's better that you plan and that you account for the likely reasons that you will fail in what you set out to do. So in conclusion, in addition to what my the eminent speakers have already addressed, the phrase used for this kind of thinking is prospective hindsight. And I think it's a good hack to elicit the material facts because we struggle, I think, to understand what is a material fact. And I don't think the answer is so obvious all the time. But looking at it from a lens of failure actually will help you try to understand what a material fact will be. And I think if you do this, the plaint will be more concise, and I think the presentation will then be more elegant, which is also what one must aspire to, that you just don't want to be presenting what's written on a paper. It has to be a performance. It is performance in some ways. It is a highly formal setting. So I think these hacks can help you overcome the obvious. Thank you very much.